Hello, Ujit, I am audible?
Yes, yes. Dr. Tasir, you are audible.
Yes, thank you.
Can you hear me, Dr. Kopat?
Yes, Dr. Ajit, you are audible.
So, shall we start the session?
So I hope all the participants that have joined are for the a training program on emerging technology trends for effective disaster management. All right. So yes, Dr. Ajit, we can
Everyone, please mute.
just give me a moment. Yes. So let me. I'm really sorry for the confusion that has happened today. So there are. So this particular link, the program that is going on right now here at this program is the online training program on emerging technology trends for effective disaster management. And the other training program, engaging youth and adolescents in DRM and CCA, the other link that has been used yesterday, you can go back to that link. The program will start on that link only. And if you are still not able to join, you can contact Namrata ji from NIDM. She will help you out. I hope my message is clear to everyone. Yes, Dr. Ajit, now we can start the session.
Okay, so let's start the session. Good morning to one and all present here. And I welcome you all to day 2 of 3 days online training program on emerging technology trends for effective disaster management. For today's session, we have 3 distinguished speakers: Dr. Tasir Ali Sheikh from RG Polytechnic Assam, Dr. Chandrasekhar Azad, STEM professor from NIT Jamshedpur, and Mr. Harshit Sharma, young professional, ECDRM NIDM. So, to start the session, may I call upon Dr. Tasir Ali Sheikh. Dr. Tasir Ali Sheikh received his BTech degree in Electronics and Communication Engineering from National Institute of Technology Arunachal Pradesh and MTech from National Institute of Technology Arunachal Pradesh, and he did his PhD from Northeastern Regional Institute of Science and Technology Arunachal Pradesh. He has presented many papers and journals in reputed journals, and his field of interest is in MIMO devices and microwave communication and wireless communication. So I would like to call upon Dr. Tasir Ali Sheikh to give his talk. Dr. Tasir, the platform is all yours.
Yes, I'm audible, right, Dr. Ojit?
Yes, Dr. Tasir, you are audible.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Ojit, and all the organizing committee of the Gopal Narayan Singh University, Bihar, and NIDM, New Delhi, for inviting me for this emerging technology trends for effective disaster management trainings. So, a very good morning, one and all. So, I'm going to start my talk. That is the title of my topic is, I'm going to share the slide. My slide is visible, Dr. Ojit?
No, it's not visible. Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Is it visible?
Yes, it's visible right now.
Okay.
You can start the presentation.
Okay. Thank you so much once again. So, very good morning to one and all the participants present over here. So, I'm going to talk about the role of 5G technology in disaster management. The 5G will be helps. So, I'll be going to talk few slides about this. So, First, the contents is what is 5G and recent development in wireless communication, limitation of existing disaster management system and approaches, and disaster management phases, requirement for the disaster management systems, rule of 5G in disaster management, and some references that I have followed during the preparation of this topic. So first thing is this, what is as I'm going to discuss about the rule of 5G in disaster management. So before we're going to that, we have to know some parameters that are needed and what are the limitations and what things are developed in 5G technology, which will be help in disaster management technology. So before we enter to the main topics, so I'm going to share some slides that are happened recently in the, due to the heavy rain. Almost I think everyone heard that in New Haplong in Dimahasa district of Assam on 17 and 18 May of the last month have faced the landslides that is very a dangerous situation was happened on because of this natural calamities like heavy rain. So if you see the upper photos of the New Haplong railway stations, the scenario is so much beautiful. So after the heavy rain and landslides, the situation that second figure, that is below figure, see the train like heavy trains and other things that are situation was very worse in this areas of the Dimahasa district of Haplong area. So these are very risky place, even though those people are working in this railway stations and those passenger was there in the train. So all the victims as well as the rescue team was unable to control the situations. So there was no alternate road connection. There was nothing was there. So the peoples who was in that area, they have facing lots of problems. So this is the recent things that are happened in Assam in Dimahasa district. So this another figures, the canals and the railway track is also happen, and if you seen in the right side of the figures, if you see here, so this situation was like that. So this is a very old situation was happened on the middle of the month of May, and this was the canal. The train was run through this canal. So due to the heavy rain, all the landslides and the canal was blocked, and the there was total disruptions of the communication transportation systems in the area of Hapla. So many ministers, even central minister is also visited, and they till now they have said that it will be takes 2 months to recover the proper connectivity, road connectivity as well as the train connectivity. So even if you have you imagine that if such situation is happen, if it takes the 2 months, how the people will be survive. In the case of emergency also, suppose medical emergency and some other emergencies also, people will be die. So in this case, what happens, how the 5G will be helped, how the 5G will be helped to recover this, reconstruct this, all the that means communications like even phone communications, or it is rail track or whatever communication is there, we can immediately recover or reconstruct this, all those transportations, because for all the peoples it is not possible to affordable the flight. So even we can do the communication through the flight. So as we know that 75% peoples are very poor peoples of our country. So for these peoples it will be very difficult to bear. So for this scenario, for this critical scenario, as we are coming to the 5G, 6G, and more G are coming in coming days. So with the technology, if we able to do something, or if we can use the use cases scenario of technology, then it will be benefited from the whole human community. So now coming to the main topics. So what is 5G? As we know that it is the 5th generation which was started late on 2010, and it is this technology, 5G technology, is almost a complete wireless communications and with almost no limitation. Because if you see in the below figure, if you notice in the below figure, in 5G technology nowadays are engaging or working in every field, from the entrepreneur to consumer, consumer to governments. In all the scenarios, what happens, the 5G technology are uses. So that's why it is called the a complete wireless communications with almost no limitation. So if you see in the government sectors, in every smart cities, utilities, public safety, public transport, hotspot, even tourism, mining, ports, and whatever sectors are there in the government side, in almost all these sectors nowadays we can use the 5G technology. And even in consumers like gaming and entertainments, fixed wireless, wearable networks. So in all the cases, even in medical fields, all the fields we can use nowadays the 5G technology. And in enterprises also, logistic, retail, manufacturing, healthcare, robotics, education, agriculture, uh, fintech, automotives. So in all cases, nowadays we can use the 5G technology. Even in the case of risk management and disaster management scenarios, also we can use the 5G technology. So as it has the high speed and high capacity, because in the emergency scenario, whatever I have discussed in last slide, in Dimahasau area, for this, if government has assured that within 2 months or after 2 months we will be restored the rail services. So if the our 5G technology is too fast, as we know that the speed is very fast, it can speed the data in gigahertz. So if whether we can able to engage this 5G technology to this scenario or not. So later slide we will be discuss some points about this. So 5G are the multimedia newspaper, was TV programming with clarity of HD quality of video, as well as it can transmit the data so faster than the previous generations. And we can also use the large memory phone. Whatever memory phone are also used nowadays in 5G supported mobile phone, the memories are also very large compared to the other scenario. And dialing speed is also so fast. And 5G is more effective and more attractive because of such golden points that are offered by the 5G technology. So this mobile phones nowadays, the mobile phone is also very thin compared to the, and very small compared to the others previous generation mobile phone. So 5G will be handle all the data transfer, all the clarity of video, large memory. So this thing will be how help in the case of disaster prevention. So we will be seen the later. So recent development in wireless communication is basically sensor technology, that is RFID and robotics, that have lead to technology and approaches that can effectively use to locate and rescue victim during the disaster situation. Because by the use of this sensor technology as robotics, we can easily localized, and we can recover the victim as well as the rescue team from the disaster management situations. And many systems that are currently in place for engaging peoples to communicate during the emergency situation include urgency and safe city. For the safe city and for mobile urgency, we can use some technology that are also going to discuss in later slide. In mobile urgency enables that iOS, that is FL operating systems, as well as the Android user to stream live video as well as the audio signals over the cellular networks. It is also provide the real-time positioning. That means where the victims are there, where the rescue team have to go to recover the victim peoples. So these things are helping by this technology, by the use of GPS on Wi-Fi fingerprint technology. And Safe Cities is also enabling receiving live mobile video streaming of the crimes and crises that are happening in the cities or metropolitan towns. So these are the technologies, the recent developments are happening, which are helping us in the preventions of the disaster management. So limitations are there. There are many limitations are there. I have mentioned here 2-3 points. So if you your network is destroyed during the your natural calamities like heavy rains or thunderstorm or tsunami or earthquake, whatever is there. So if your mobile existing mobile network infrastructure is destroyed, if it is destroy, if it is interoperability facilities are there, so that we can resolve the issue. So this is one of the limitation, that means in mobile communication scenarios, interoperability systems are not existing till now. Lots of researchers are working in these fields to do this technology, because first things that are destroyed is mobile infrastructure are destroyed. So if nowadays mobile infrastructure is destroyed, the everything will be switch off. That means everything we cannot communicate with the outer world. Because nowadays in every smartphones are there in everyone's hand. So with the help of mobile phone, we can do anything, because here GPS is there, everything is there. Suppose you are in a jungle, so if your GPS is there, so the people's the rescue team can find out your exact locations, and they can go and point over there, and they can recover it. So main thing is network infrastructure is the most important thing for the time of the disaster management. So if interoperability capacities are there, or systems are able to exist with the all irrespective of all networks like Vodafone, Jio, Airtel, whatever are there. So this is one of the limitations. Interoperability are not there now in the current existing systems. Another thing is system using Bluetooth. So those people are using Bluetooth that are also not educated during the disaster management time, because for the Bluetooth to send the data or to receive the data, we need to peering. So for this peering purpose, we need peering mechanism. We need a lot of times, and sometimes it will be not able to possible. So that much time you will be not able to get. So this is another disadvantage on the systems for using the Bluetooth technology. Another limitation is Wi-Fi in ad hoc mode need device to run a route. So suppose you are ad hoc network are using, so this is also going to destroy due to natural calamities. So this is also not suitable for the, or this is one of the limitations for the existing disaster management approaches or systems. Okay, now come to this disaster management phases. So there are two phases are there in the disaster management. One is the pre-disaster phase, another is post-disaster phase. So what things are required in the pre-disaster phase, and what things are required in the post-disaster phases. So the first thing is the pre-disaster phases, we need to disaster mitigations. How to we mitigate the disaster that are going to happen. But after the post-disaster phases, what things are happen? We need to fast recovery and provide the relief to the victim peoples. That are the prime duties after the disaster is happening. The second point is that in the pre-disaster phases, that we can use the alarm and warning system mobile phones in disaster mode. So nowadays in all the 5G supported phones, they have the disaster mode on every mobile. So if we use the disaster mode, so that times what happens, your mobile will be sending one alarm message when any natural calamities or disaster management things are going to be happen in near futures. So this is one of the points that are required in the disaster, pre-disaster phase. And post-disaster cases, what happens? The rescue affected people setting up the communication infrastructure. So through the help of mobile phones, whatever people are affecting due to the natural calamities or disasters like tsunami or earthquake and whatever is there. So that times what happens? Those rescuing affected peoples need to set up the communication infrastructure to communicate with the other peoples or with their friends or with the social medias like that. So these are the things that are required in the post-disaster phase. Again, in the third point is that pre-disaster phases, the disaster apps. Nowadays, lots of disaster apps are there that are developed by some researchers. So if we install those disaster apps in our mobile phones, and if you log in that disaster apps, so if any disasters are going to happen in your areas, so they will be provide some alarm type message. So, and the third point of the post disaster is the social media and Twitter. So if you have mobile phones, with the help of the social media like nowadays that are Twitter or Facebook and Instagram, whatever social medias are there, or LinkedIn. So with those social media, we can share our situations, or we can share our locations, or we can take the help of medicine help, or we can take the help of food. So everything we can share through the social media nowadays. Okay, so these are the points that are required for the pre-disaster phases and post-disaster phases. Okay, now what things are required for the disaster management systems related to the communication? That means related to the 5G system. First thing is, first requirement is fast response. So if anyone is stuck during the any disasters, so first thing is that we need to respond them first. That means rapid development of the disaster recovery infrastructure like communications or road communications or mobile communications or whatever communications are there. We need to deploy the or recover the infrastructure that are destroyed during the disaster or natural calamities, and must be operational quickly to meet the victims' needs. So if the victims are require foods or medicines or anything are required, so we need to give them those essential things quickly. Another requirement is life expectancy of the network or systems. So whatever networks are there, currently are there in our networks, means mobile networks are there, that must be operate effectively until the completion of the rescue operations. So if the life expectancy is very less, suppose we need to some rescue team need to operate 3 to 4 hours, but your whatever networks are there, it is only work 1 hour. So the rescue team cannot complete their operations properly. So the life expectancy of the network should be there until the completions of the operations. So that is one of the requirement that are required for the disaster management. And another is interoperability, that must be able to work or interoperate with the existing infrastructure. So if suppose one place is Geo, Vodafone and BSNL or Airtel network are there. So if one network's base stations are present, so with the help of one base station, suppose Geo base stations are working and other three are damages due to the natural calamities. So through the help of Geo, all networks should be supported. That type of techniques are surging nowadays by the researcher, because nowadays it is very much essential, because in some places it is not able to install the base station. So if we install the one company's base station, through that base station we can support all other networks. Another is traffic-free operations. When their operations are going on for recovering the victims, a free and low-cost availability to the victim enable the use of disaster mode applications are required. Another is network coverage. So network coverage means what in some places, suppose Dr. Ojit, please mute your mic. So network coverage enable interconnecting the damaged communication infrastructure in different disaster zone quickly. So suppose in some disaster natural calamities areas, if some network is damages, that network should be quickly interconnect with the others, or it should be recovered quickly. And support of the heterogeneous traffic types. That means suppose it should be support the voice data as well as the video without any discriminations. And network capacity, whatever networks are there at the time of the rescue operations, the network should have the enough capacity to handle the communication session generated by the victim as well as the rescue team. So the networks should have the sufficient capacity to recover the victim as well as the rescue team. So another lots of points are there, easy to use equipment cost and indoor outdoor operation scenario. Suppose whatever GPS, suppose we are going to use. So in the first slide, I have, second slide, I was shown one canals that were blocked due to the landslide. So like that, if canal is very large, so if you using positioning, that is, you want to find out the exact locations of that victims. So that times what happens, whatever GPS you are going to use, that GPS should be work properly in the scenario of indoor as well as the outdoor scenarios, like in auditorium, like in hospitals, or whatever building inside the building. So all these places, whatever GPS systems you are going to use, that should be work in properly in outdoor as well as the indoor scenarios. Another thing is, another requirement is high precision for localization and search operation. That means it related feature is that the must provide reasonably accurate locations of the victim. So whatever GPS systems you are going to use for recover the victims, so that GPS should be accurate, should be give the accurate locations. If the victims are one place, if the rescue team are going in the another place, so there will be mismatch and they will be take the huge times, and there may be a chance of life, maybe some peoples maybe die because of some that mismatch. So that localization, that means exact positions, finding location is very essential for the disaster management system. So now we'll be coming to the main topics. Then how the 5G will be help. As we seen that the requirement of the disaster management. So will this 5G technology will be able to meet that requirement in the case of disaster management systems? So in few slides we are going to discuss this. So 5G systems are, as we've seen that in the earlier slide, envisioned to have the crucial capacities such as network flexibility, reconfigurations of the network, resilience, and therefore expected to play a key role for improving the disaster situation communications. So in the improving the disaster situation communication, as the 5G networks are highly flexible, as well as the reconfigurations capacities are also there. So in the case of, as we need the flexibility systems, as also we need the reconfiguration systems for recovering the victims in the disaster management. So this 5G can improve the disaster situation communication effectively. Furthermore, the 5G technology network will be provide media independent handover. That means are going to support IEEE 80 2.21 and allowing seamless handoff between the various available network, thereby enabling disaster communication without any disruption. So as it is the media independent handover, there is no need to inform the base stations and the other MSC like that things. So it can easily hand off. That means call may be transformed from one base station another base stations without malfunctioning the main system. So this is one of the major advantages of the 5G technology, and because of this advantage and these things are efficiently required in the rescue operations like disaster management scenario communication systems. So because of these points, the 5G is effectively able to handle the disaster situations that are going to happen frequently in our areas. The 5G networks are not only expected to provide much faster transmission throughput, but also support the emerging use cases related to the IoT, machine-type communication, broadcast-like services, and even lifeline communication during the natural calamities. Okay, so with the help of this 5G technology, 5G technology, we can we can use the use cases related issues like IoT, machine type communication, broadcast services, even lifeline communication during the natural calamities. We also use the 5G technology. This emerging scenario generate new demands, and 5G will be fulfill these demands by adopting new technology like proximity service, through which device communication with each other directly instead of relying on the base station of the network. So they can directly communicate with the one device to another device with some another like device to device communication. If we take the example of device to device communication, without any other infrastructure in between the two devices, they can transmit the data. So this is the beauty of the 5G technology that are going to give the some advantages in the case of disaster management systems to fulfill the requirement of the 5G. Okay, so now how the device to device communications will be help in the disaster management scenario. As we know that in the device to device communication systems, there is no network, there is no cellular network. Here direct device to device links are there. With the help of device to device links, this mobile phone can transmit data here without this base station. So this is one of the advantage of the device to device communications, and with the help of the 5G technology, this device to device communications can transmit the data without base stations. Okay, and it is also use the spectrum efficiently. It can use the spectrum allocations without any adding any further delay. Another is that it is already I have told it, it is a direct communication between device without any network infrastructure. Okay, so another thing is device to device offer a wide range of advantage, from offload cellular traffic and reduce battery consumption, much higher data rate, to novel application. So these are the advantages that are provided, and with the help of 5G technology, they can mitigate the or they can meet the disaster management requirement. Another thing is cognitive radio. So this is also one of the important point. So as you know that the spectrum is very costly things. So and it is not available. So if we use the cognitive radio concept with the help of 5G, we can easily meet the whatever requirements are there in the disaster management. We can mitigate or we can cater the services of the disaster management that are required. So the functions that CR should provide include spectrum sensing and spectrum management. They can, with the help of cognitive radio and 5G, they can sensing the spectrum, and spectrum can be efficiently managed, and spectrum also can share efficiently, and spectrum also can use for mobility purpose. So with this same bandwidth, they can service or they can provide the service to the large number of victims, those who are facing the problem in any disaster or natural calamities scenario. So suppose this is the CR enable emergency networks. So here CR based communications with interoperability is there. This is the spectrum broker. From here the internet, so we can connect the public facilities, networks, security, as well as the hospitals and surveillance. So with the help of this CR cognitive radio concepts, we can give the service to the all section of the peoples, like emergency service, like medical and fire and this safety, security. If you require the safety during the time of natural calamities or disaster scenario, and if you need the public support from the other peoples, with the help of internets and with the help of CR and 5G technology, we can take the helps. We can take the help from the all section of the peoples, from including from the friends to family to security, health, and all the section from the all the section of the peoples. And another thing is third number point is how the indoor positioning technologies can help the disaster management technology. As we seen in the second slide that a canal was there. So we require the positioning systems to find out the exact locations of the victims. Suppose if any victims are inside the canals or in a heavy jungle, inside around the heavy jungle, so or inside the airport, big airport, or inside the any big shopping malls. So how we will be find out the exact location of the victim peoples? So we need to use the global navigation satellite systems. With the help of this 5G technology, they can easily find out, or they can give the exact locations of the victims peoples, and so that when the exact locations can they got, the rescue team can able to recover that victims easily and fastly. So due to lack of GNSS, that means global navigation satellite system coverage in indoor environment such as tunnel, building, indoor navigation is required in this case for providing the location service to first time responder. Okay, so this is one of the technology that are helps in the disaster management preventions with the help of 5G technology. So another thing is mobile disaster mode. Nowadays, as I have already discussed that nowadays every mobile phone, those mobile phone are supported the 5G networks. Those mobile phone have the you can if some natural calamities. Okay, so the mobile phone is potential device, and nowadays everyone is using this mobile phone. So this is one of the best device, and with the help of 5G, we can at least a little bit things of disaster we can mitigate with the help of mobile phone disaster modes. Another is remote sensing. Remote sensing is nothing but nowadays in 5G technology, we need to sense a huge amount of data. So with the help of sensing, suppose in some places natural calamities are happen, disaster are happen like earthquake or something like that are happen. So with this help of the sensors, we can take the data. We can collect the data by sensing on that locations. Suppose where the peoples are stacking, maximum number of peoples are stacking, where need to we have to give foods or medical supplies and medical services, where we need to give. So with the base on this sensing data, the rescue team can prepare themselves and can send the things like food or medical services, whatever things are required. So with the help of remote sensing, we can take the data and we can give the services to our peoples, and also we can recover the victims those are in stock on the time of disasters, natural calamities. Okay, so whatever data will be collect, this will be processing, and after analysis they will be find out the exact locations, and based on the locations, on base of the requirement, they can the rescue team can provide the services to the victims. Now social media, how with the help of social media can meet the requirement of disaster management techniques. So as nowadays Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube are become one of the best media to provide the information quickly. Even in some places the medias are not able to cover. With the help of, if you have mobile phones and if you have accounts on Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook or YouTube, we can easily share the current informations what are happening in your nearby places because of the like tsunami or earthquake. You can share the every photos and every locations or every videos or whatever things you supposed to share. So with the help of social media, that means like Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp and whatever, lots of things are there. LinkedIn are also there. Twitter is also there. With the help of the social media, we can support, or we can help the peoples those are victim on the natural calamities times. So using this technology, the social media technology, and with the help of 5G technology, we can mitigate or prevent the disaster management also. So it provides the valuable information to those in a disaster area pre and post disasters via internet if available, or through the SMS update. Drives awareness to the outsider of the affected area and generating the volunteers and or donors. So third point is that connect displaced family and friends. If your friends and families are other place and you are in other place during your natural calamities like earthquake, so you can also, with the help of the mobile phones, whether that family members are alive or not, you can know with the help of social media, and provide information about the unclaimed property and in worst case scenario bodies. So in this way, the social medias are help by providing the informations, by awareing the peoples, by collecting the uh, uh, by collecting the helps, that means donor, and by it also helps to connect the families as well as the friends. Another thing, internet of things. So internet of things, this is allow object to sense and control remotely across existing network infrastructure and creating opportunities for more direct information between the physical world and computer-based system, and resulting in improving the efficiency, accuracy, and economic benefit. So with the help of internet, you know that it can sense and control remotely all the data with the existing network infrastructure. So with the existing network infrastructure, if there are huge number of data are there, with the help of the internet of things, we can sense and control remotely, and they can integrate, they can make a bridge between the physical world as well as the computer based systems. Each thing is uniquely identifiable through the embedded computing systems, but it is also incorporated within the existing internet infrastructure. And through the IoT, a vast area of the signals can be acquired and measured during the disaster, which could be used in meaningful interpretations of the event. Now, coming to the big data, how the big data and with the help of the 5G technology will, I'm audible?
Yes, Dr. Tassi, you're audible.
Okay. So now coming to the big data, how the big data will be help in disaster management with the help of the 5G technology. As we know that nowadays the huge number of data are generating day by day, because everyone is using the mobile phone, everyone using the computers, everyone, and lots of data are required from the social media or censoring or transportations. From the every field nowadays, we are uh, requiring the we are generating the data. So in the case of disaster management times, so big data, as we know that we require the fast data transmissions, we need to transport data, big amount of data like videos, someone want to send the videos to the outsider. Big data is help in this case with the help of 5G to mitigate the disaster management, because with the help of big data we can send the big amount of data that are generated from, or we can collect from in collaboration with the social media, social collaboration, sensor transportations, and with the help of all these technical issues, we can data can be transmit with the help of 5G technology during the any natural calamities. The use of 5G will be enhance the rapid and seamless transfer of the importance data that are especially required in the disaster related events. So this big data is help with the help of the 5G technology in the disaster management prevention. Now, coming to the cloud computing, so it is also related to the big data and IoT. So as we know that the cloud computing nowadays is also helping us to to accessing the information, communication, and collaboration in real-time form from all types of computing device, including mobile handheld device such as smartphone, tablets, etc. So at the time of that means landsliding, suppose, or earthquake or tsunami or whatever natural calamities are there. So that times what happens, suppose anybody want to access the informations. So this, if the data are stored in the cloud, so other people can easily access that informations that are required, or someone some news channels are required, or some government authorities are required. So with the help of cloud computing, they can got that information, or that they can communicate with the help of the cloud computing. Such a system could help for the establishment of the community and effective and self-scalable cloud computing environment, in which the diverse set of organization and personnel can contribute their data, knowledge, experience, storage, and computing resources to deal with the natural disaster. So in this way, the cloud computing and with association of the 5G technology can help for prevention of the disaster management. So these are the things, the 9 components that I have discussed, that are help with the association of the for prevention of disaster management. So do you feel during my talk I have given
So disaster management, what it also involves analyzing exposure to loss. Okay, like home built below sea level may face greater exposure to flood. So we have to educate peoples, okay, or some other programs may be implemented, so that can be minimized. So here disaster management refers to the conservations of life. That is very important here, of lives and property during the disasters, natural calamities. Okay, so very first page is here, very first process is here, the prevention. Prevention is basically that will not going to reduce the potential damage. Okay, but what it can prevent disaster. It cannot prevent disaster, but can what? It can prevent them from becoming compounded as a result of neglecting casual factors and manageable risk. Okay, so here what things can be done for prevention: raising awareness about the various natural calamities hazards, and if then how to address them, educating the people about how to properly prepare for different kinds of disasters such as like earthquake, cyclones, okay, fires, floods. Okay, in such situations, such kinds of training, education is required. Installing and strengthening predictions and warning systems in the different areas, like firefighting equipments, okay, like early predictions of cyclones, okay, floods, okay. Study is required. Now, so managing hazards and risk means what? Planning to minimize a community's vulnerability to disasters, and those things what it is going to include the buy appropriate insurance to protect. That is not going to recover that particular, but what that may be compensated through insurance or something like that. What if any? Okay, so educating families and business on how to create effective disaster plans, promoting use of fire deterrent materials in constructions, so that can be mitigated or minimized. Okay, advocating for capital works initiatives such as like construction and maintenance of leaves, okay, in low coastal areas, building partnership between the sectors and agencies at the state and local levels to collaborate on mitigation projects. So this way what that can be prevented. Now next, that is also very important here, usage, land use and building codes. Okay, so building here basically what building schools, hospitals, neighborhoods in flood prone area increase their exposure to disaster. Okay, so what can be done here? Simply with the help of the disaster management techniques, spotlight these areas. Okay, where there is a that area is great exposure to disasters. So spotlight those risks and prevents idea to use land in safer way. that better way what we have to use that particular land. Okay, later on what in case study I will show you that what how machine learning will be helpful in such situations. Okay, so here example is like constructions homes in floodplains. Instead of that, we can create some other things like outdoor recreations, wildlife attractions, or hiking. So that can be this way. The land can be used better way. They can use earth people to avoid this area during flood season. These measures what make residents and their homes less vulnerable to harm. So that is very important here. How to use the land so that what that can be prevented. Preparedness. So basically, what
software
preparedness is
software developer
well
के अलावा
coordinated
किसी और
response to
anyone who
disasters
has
required.
thought of not being a software developer but getting into a corporate.
Okay, my voice is clear and loud, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry for disturbance. We have muted.
Okay. So preparedness is what all coordinated responses to disasters require prior planning. So here, such kinds of things can be done for disaster preparedness plans, like identifying organizational resources, designate roles and responsibilities, create procedures and policies, some organization activity that basically what improve the disasters readiness. Okay. Now, next process that is the next page is response and recovery. Okay. So basically, what that focuses on delivering help and intervention that can save lives during the natural calamities, flood, fires, okay, cyclones, etc. And that basically what that is for safeguard health, protect buildings, animals, or the belongingness of the people, those who are residing on those affected area. Okay, so initial response what efforts shift towards for supporting communities for rebuild those peoples emotionally, economically, and physically. So that is need to be done. Disaster relief. Okay, so these are the some example of disaster relief, such as like temporary shelters that provide a safe place to the peoples, those who are affected in those natural calamities, uh, foods, emotional support through the trained professionals or personnel. Okay, delivering meals and waters, distributing emergency supplies. Okay, okay, providing emergency health like first aid injury for injuries and prescription medicines replacement. So those kinds of disaster reliefs will be helpful in the natural climate. Rebuilding that is actually what post disasters. Okay, helps community rebuild their lives after such calamities. Okay, like house economically, infrastructure systems, etc. And recovery assistance what may also help in unemployment assistance. Okay, providing housing assistance through legal services. Okay, through mental health counseling. Okay, so through which those process plans methods the person will be get benefited. Now, so these are the some fundamental things. Now let's come to the what are the different types of disasters. So basically here I categorize in three categories: natural disasters, man-made or technological disasters, and third one is complex emergencies. Okay, natural disasters are such as like geographical disasters. Okay, so here that includes like volcano, okay, tsunami, okay, earthquake, okay, landslide, etc. These are the geological disasters. Other like hydrological disasters. These are like flood, tsunami in this category. Climatological disasters. These are like forest fire, cold wave, heat wave, etc. Okay, meteorological disasters such as like tornado, hurricane. Okay, those what impacting the lives of the people. Okay, and their properties. Biological disasters such as like some insect-borne disease. Okay, animal plagues, etc. Space disaster. Okay, basically that in the space. Okay, like explosion of gamma rays in space. Okay, airburst event. Okay, etc. Other like in environment degradations like through like flood and landslide, pollutions, various kinds of pollutions, due to which the populations are okay. Terrorism is also a kind of disasters. Okay, here life life of the peoples are get affected in the various regions. Accidents also, and the complex emergencies are like food insecurity, like epidemics and pandemics. Like last 2 years, we all gone through a COVID-19. Okay, that is not good for our society. Okay, that greatly impacted the economies and the personal life of the families. Okay, displaced population. So these are the different types of disasters. Okay, for early, if we aware of that particular, if early prediction is done for any of the such kinds of disasters, like that will going to impact life of the people like before sometimes, then obviously what people will get ready for that particular, and necessary arrangement is done by the people for livelihoods. Okay, so in such scenario what machine learning will be helpful. Okay, so let's see how machine learning. Okay, so since disasters often affect poor and vulnerable areas, and most significantly what, it's a imperative to use the technology, we have to protect those area. So let's see one example here. Like there is a city, the Guatemala, that studies about earthquake vulnerability, that I taken from the what World Bank report on disaster management. Okay, so here that particular city, like there are the different natural climates such as like hurricane, volcanic activity, landslide, and other disasters have continued to hit that particular city in the years, not one day. So raising question here about how the country can better prepare for hazards, that particular country. So due to the various kinds of natural calamities here, the recorded around 23,000 deaths, economic damage estimated at nearly 20% of the country. Actually, that is what very old uh, incident. Okay, report. Okay, around 19 something 1970 or around 1980. Okay, here the injuries recorded that is 76,000. Okay, but here the challenge is here in the area of high seismic activity, identifying high risk building can help prioritize retrofitting its investment, and most importantly what, that will going to save lives. Okay, so here challenge is what, identifying those risky buildings that will going to impact the life of people. So here one method is what, send the team, they will going to survey which building is most vulnerable, and okay, that will be corrected, or the people from those areas that will be evacuated from that. Okay, that is one. But here that particular task or sending large team of surveyor, that is a very time consuming as well as expensive. Okay, then what to do? Then question arises here, what to do if it is time consuming and expensive? If we will be want to know about which buildings are high risky with respect to hurricane, volcanic activity, landslide, and other natural calamities, then we need to find out a effective and optimum way for determining the high risk building. Okay, so here one solution is what, as per the solution, the World Bank use imaginary from satellite drones and 360 street view camera to identify homes that were at high risk through images or drones. Okay, for collapse during the earthquake. Okay, and using imagery was about 70% cheaper than relying only on people of data collection, and prevented human bias in data collection. Okay, so here the algorithm identified high risk building based on what, based on the following parameters: slope of land, large first floor opening, and rooftop material, through which what, the high risk buildings are identified. So after that, what, when the World Bank used that particular with the help of satellite drones and street view cameras, what in the end, what World Bank method resulted in what 80% of the building that field engineers demand at risk flat. So helping to identify the modest home that are prone to the collapse and building that are good candidates for retrofitting, and that will be retrofit. Okay, then obviously what in future that maybe that kind of natural climate is not going to impact such things. Okay, so clearly using what the data collected through the satellite drones or 360 street view cameras, okay, can have tremendous results. And when it comes to disaster risk management, okay, that will be helpful. So this is the solutions. Okay, here after collecting that particular data, that data is maybe fed into machine learning algorithm, and machine learning algorithm going to predict that whether that particular home is in high risky area of natural calamities or not. That is okay. Okay. So later on, I will also discuss about some more case studies regarding that. Okay. So before going to discuss about that, let's understand about the what is machine learning, what are the different types of algorithm of machine learning that will be helpful for predictions of high risk area in natural calamities. Okay. So machine learning is okay. Okay. Basically, if you're going to see that particular figure, the human, I can learn everything automatically from the experience. Okay, automatically from experience. So machines what it is replying that what yes, I can also learn from past data. How? With the help of machine learning. Let's understand what is machine learning. So basically here machine learning will going to help the machines learning from past experience, and here the past experience are the what the are the data collected through the different methods. Okay, so let's see what is machine learning. Basically machine learning is subset of artificial intelligence that is mainly concerned with allow a computer to learn from the data and past experiences without any human interventions. That is beauty of that particular technology. Okay, that particular term is coined by Arthur Samuels, okay, in 1959. Okay, and he summarized that machine learning enables a machine to automatically learn from data. Automatically learn from data. Here it means that what without any human intervention, and that particular system improve performance over time. Okay, from the experiences, and what that will going to predict things without being explicitly programmed. Like nowadays, what in the programming, the instructions are written. You have to perform if inputs are then output will be this. Okay, and here mapping from input to output is given. But in machine learning based systems, here no explicitly programmed that what to do. Automatically, what systems learn from its input output relationship, and then thereafter what it predict the some events. Okay, so in layman term, what we can say that machine learning teaches or giving the ability to systems or computer. Machine learning teaches computers to